the fighting pride of Omaha, Nebraska, USA, and new Ring Magazine, an undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Terence Crawford.
The bell rang and Vegas lit up. Two pound-for-pound kings walking straight into history. Canelo came out stalking, head movement sharp, ripping those trademark body shots early. You could hear the thud echo through the arena.
What do you want me to say? You beat him easy.
Upset of a lifetime?
Nah, it wasn't an upset. The people that really know boxing knew that it was a good fight. Yeah. It depended on what kind of fight that Bud fought. And he fought the fight that he needed to fight to win.
Hold on. Yeah, no, it's boxing, isn't it? It's boxing. It's one of them things. God's got a greater plan.
Do you think it actually could sit up during Canelo?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I don't think it'll happen pretty soon, though. I think he'll have a bit of time off and we'll see what happens.
But Crawford, he didn't flinch. He circled, popped the jab, and snapped in counters that made Canelo reset. The tension was unreal. It felt less like round one and more like the final scene of a movie.
Thank you, GOAT, because you are the GOAT of this era. Terence Bud Crawford.
I told you, what did you just watch? I only speak the facts.
You know, Canelo really was trying, couldn't get to him. You know, he looked a bit frustrated, but it was a great fight all around. Both guys looked good.
By round three, the pace exploded. Canelo cut the ring off and pinned Bud to the ropes, letting off a heavy combination that got the crowd on their feet. But seconds later, Crawford slipped, pivoted out, and landed a slick three-punch combo of his own.
What do you think made the difference?
The speed, really.
Yeah.
I think it was the main factor. Canelo couldn't really keep up with him. He was too fast. His feet, footwork was too good.
That had Canelo nodding like, okay, I see you. The crowd lost their minds, one half cheering for Canelo's power, the other screaming for Crawford's slickness. It was a tug of war with no quit. The middle rounds were chess on fire.
Beautiful performance, tremendous night for boxing.
Yeah.
And he had a game plan, he performed, and he deserves all the recognition.
Yeah.
Listen, man, Canelo's a good fighter, man.
Yeah.
But he made the fight look normal, guys.
Yeah.
He made it look normal. Canelo left out of face with his cherry red face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but didn't have a mark on him.
Every time Canelo landed a big hook to the body, Crawford answered with speed upstairs. Both men had their moments. Canelo's power rumbling through the crowd, Crawford's precision making people gasp. You could see the respect building between them in real time.
You just start seeing a fighter gradually start decreasing.
Yeah.
You see the other one resting long period of time, but that didn't give him an issue.
Bro,
So,
the word the fans are going to use, oh, he was washed, but where's he at in terms of his prime? How can you gauge it?
doesn't matter. We saw a great fight tonight, did we not? That's all that matters. Two guys risked it, and the better man won tonight. That was Crawford.
Neither man backing down. It wasn't just skill on display, it was pride, grit, and pure stubbornness. Then came the championship rounds. Exhaustion set in, but pride kept both fighters charging.
It looked like Canelo Alvarez almost wanted to walk off at one point.
Yeah, I mean, he was frustrated, and it is frustrating to try and fight a guy, and you want to fight, but this guy's moving well, and Crawford was moving too well.
Canelo pressed forward, shoulders rolling, throwing bombs like it was the last fight of his career. Crawford bit down on the mouthpiece, answering with sharp counters and angles that left fans screaming. Every punch looked like it could change the fight, and every second felt like it might be the moment that defined their legacy.
I knew it already. I had been testing him. He's doing great in camp. I saw how his body stood about 168. I'm like, man, y'all crazy. Still, they always talking about size. Still.
When the final bell rang, nobody in the arena was sitting. Both men raised their hands. Both looked like warriors who left it all in the ring, and both gave us a fight that fans will argue about for years. The atmosphere was electric. History had just been written.
What happens to Canelo after this? It don't matter. He's made a big statement for not only Mexico or the pride of Mexico, but for all Latinos right there. So he's done a great job for himself, man. Nevertheless, Crawford is on his way, continuing to create greatness.
And everyone knew it. You couldn't script a better finish for a showdown this massive.
You want to see a rematch, Devin, or you think it was pretty clear? Honestly, I know it's a lot of money in the rematch, but I want Bud to retire. He accomplished everything in boxing already, made a lot of money. He go spend time with his family and have some fun.
And now let's hear what the experts think about the Canelo versus Crawford fight results. First up, Crawford's trainer, Bomac, and you already know he kept it brutally honest after the fight, and you could hear the mix of relief and pride in his voice.
I think it was a style. It was a style, and he had quick feet. He had a quick right hand too. So, I think the rounds that he won it was just because of that right hand. I never thought he was behind.
Listen, that was exactly the type of battle we expected, he said, leaning in with that coach's intensity. We knew Canelo was gonna bring the size, the power, and all that big fight experience, but we also knew Crawford wasn't coming in to play games. There were moments where it got tough, moments where both guys had to bite down and show heart.
I knew the last 3 rounds, I had to, all the instruction was out the window. It was like, come on, man, we gotta work a little harder. We gotta grind a little harder.
But that's what championship level boxing is all about. Then he cracked a little grin and added, you saw Crawford making adjustments, you saw Canelo trying to press forward, and you saw the kind of fight people pay good money to watch. This wasn't just about punches, it was about proving who's willing to think, adapt, and grind in those deep rounds.
So I wanted to, I knew he had won some rounds, but I wanted him to put a stamp on it so we wouldn't have no doubt.
What was the game plan?
Just boxing, hoping he'll run into something. And he ran into a few good shots, but he got a chin on him.
Dmitry Bivol, speaking after the fight, had nothing but respect for both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, praising the high-level skills on display. Man, that was some serious boxing, Bivol said, leaning in as he analyzed the action. Canelo showed why he's considered one of the best. His timing, his power, the way he controls distance. It's scary precise.
It was, it's not interesting to see the fight when one person doesn't want to win at all. But it was hard to fight for Canelo.
But he didn't hold back in complimenting Crawford either. Bud was slick, intelligent, always moving, always reading the fight. The counters, the angles, that's world-class boxing right there. Bivol highlighted how both fighters kept adapting and pushing each other throughout the rounds. This is exactly why fans love boxing. 2 elite athletes, different styles, same intensity, leaving everything in the ring. He added that seeing fighters of this caliber go at it reminds him why he loves the sport so much. Fights like this push the limits and set new standards for everyone in the division.
It was hard to fight for Canelo because he was always aiming, and even the skull didn't throw punches, and it's hard to catch him. He's just moving. But his movement is good, to be honest.
Yeah. Man, Eddie Hearn came out of that Canelo versus Crawford showdown grinning like he just signed the lottery ticket himself. He wasn't shy about it either, said this fight was pure theater, the kind of thing you can't script even if Hollywood tried. According to Hearn, you had Canelo showing that granite composure, stalking and loading those heavy shots, while Crawford looked like a surgeon in there, slicing the gaps with precision. And Eddie, being Eddie, spun it like only he can. Boxing needed this, he said, because when 2 pound-for-pound kings clash like that, you don't just get a fight, you get a global moment.
Having never boxed anywhere near that level before, to go in there and be competitive. I know he was well beaten, but other than the flash knockdown, he wasn't really hurt, and he took every shot in the kitchen sink from Canelo Alvarez, kept firing back, showed great boxing IQ, and I think a star is born tonight for the division.
Translation, he's already dreaming of the rematch posters, the pay-per-view numbers, and probably a Netflix docuseries. Classic Hearn, half promoter, half hype machine, but all facts when he said this clash just raised the entire sport. He even hinted that nights like this remind the world why boxing still owns the spotlight when the stakes are real. And you just know Eddie's already pitching venues for part 2 before the sweat's even dried in the ring.
You know, his jab was very underrated in there. You know, his defense was good as well. He struggled to land that cleanly on him, but when he didn't seem to put a dent in. You know, people talk about his chin, his heart. He showed all of that tonight, and he showed great boxing IQ. And
Caleb Plant, reflecting on the fight, shared his thoughts with a keen eye for the technical side of boxing. Watching Canelo and Crawford go at it was something else. Plant said, Canelo's timing and power are ridiculous. Every shot feels calculated, every punch has a purpose. But Crawford, the way he moves, reads Canelo's attacks before they land, and counters with precision is next level boxing IQ. Plant broke down how both fighters constantly adapted throughout the fight.
So in those early rounds, you know, it was hard for me to tell. I did think Terence won the 12th round, and you know, tonight I was kind of watching as a fan. I thought it was a close fight, but you know, I thought Terence did enough to pull out the victory with him winning the last round.
Adjusting strategies and testing each other's limits. It wasn't just about throwing punches, it was about thinking, reacting, and staying a step ahead. Both guys forced each other to raise their game every round. He added that seeing this level of skill and discipline in the ring was inspiring, showing exactly what it takes to compete at the top and setting a standard for fighters coming up in the sport.
Do you think the decision was appropriate? Man, for me, that was a hard fight to judge. You know, some of those early rounds lacked, you know, a lot of like back and forth action, but they were computing a lot of data.
Timothy Bradley, reflecting on Canelo versus Crawford after the fight, shared his take with the sharp inside fighter perspective he's known for. Watching that fight up close, it wasn't just about big punches landing, it was about the little moments that changed everything. Bradley said he pointed out how Canelo's pivots and subtle adjustments opened up angles for heavy counters, while Crawford's timing and disguise of his shots kept the rhythm unpredictable.
Crawford, he did struggle a bit. Kid had a great game plan. He got a ton of experience. He used it very well, his athleticism. But for the most part, Crawford was able to neutralize a lot of the stuff that he did. He was taller, he was longer, and the one thing that I said and pointed out that he couldn't do, he did.
Bradley noted the discipline on display from both men, picking their moments, working the body to wear each other down, and staying patient when openings weren't there. The small things, hand positioning, resetting your feet, even taking a shot to land your own, that's what decided rounds, he explained. He also praised the corners for making smart mid-fight adjustments that kept the action strategic and clean. To Bradley, the fight was a showcase of elite boxing IQ and mental toughness, with both fighters constantly adapting, forcing each other to elevate their game and answering every challenge in the ring.
I mean, he did everything he possibly can, but it just shows you how great Terence is. And at the end of the day, the cream always rise to the top. I knew it would be tough. Nobody doubted the toughness of but I just knew what Terence can do.
Oscar De La Hoya couldn't hide his excitement after watching Canelo and Crawford go at it. That was a phenomenal fight, real elite level boxing, Oscar said. Canelo showed why he's one of the best in the world. His timing, punch selection, and control of the ring are second to none. And Crawford, man, the way he moves, switches gears, and lands those sharp counters keeps you on the edge of your seat. He highlighted how both fighters constantly adapted to each other, pushing the pace and testing each other's limits, which brought out new layers of skill, intelligence, and heart.
Yeah, no, Crawford I love because he's probably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. His style is fan-friendly. He's a tremendous boxer, undefeated. You know, he went up a weight class and he met up a guy who was really tough.
It's not just about winning or losing, it's about the craft and the fight itself. Both guys elevated each other and reminded the world why we love this sport. Oscar also praised the corners, teams, and the entire production, saying fights like this show that boxing can be both a sport and a spectacle. Nights like these make you proud to be part of boxing. Great fighters, great moments, and an audience that's hooked from start to finish.
He probably fought the toughest guy. Not the most dangerous guy, but the toughest guy. But I think that Crawford and Vergil Ortiz next year, first quarter, will be a super fight.
Joel Diaz, speaking right after the bell, sounded like a trainer breaking down a lesson rather than a commentator tossing lines. What stood out to me was the fundamentals, the setups, the timing, the way each punch had intent. He said, Canelo's ability to build sequences and land short, heavy shots off his jab shows that he's still dialed in. Those little combinations aren't accidental. He nodded toward Crawford with equal respect. Bud's rhythm changes and his knack for slipping and countering at the right moment. That's veteran instinct. He made adjustments and punished openings.
Did you see, in any moment, did you see Crawford trying to go for the kill? No, he was patient as well, right? What happens when you got two elite fighters in the ring? They're playing a chess game. See who makes the mistakes, you know?
Diaz also praised both camps for conditioning and smart corner work that kept the fight tactical instead of sloppy. This was boxing taught at a high level, craftsmanship, discipline, and heart from both men. He added that watching fighters of this caliber adapt in real time was a masterclass for anyone who wants to understand the sport. Both guys were constantly thinking, constantly moving, constantly testing each other's limits. Diaz finished by saying performances like this push the sport forward and inspire the next generation to reach higher.
It's hard. These guys are not forward Mexican fighters. They're going to go and throw punches and bunches. They're not. They're going to play in there. They're going to play it smart, and they're going to play a chess game. That's why after the fight, when the fight was over, I looked at my team and I said, we won this fight.
Jim Lampley, delivering his post-fight take with the energy and insight only he can bring, praised the sheer spectacle of Canelo versus Crawford. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a masterclass in elite boxing, Lampley exclaimed. Canelo's precision and power were on full display. The way he measures distance, times his shots, and controls the ring is textbook brilliance. But Crawford, the movement, the counters, the ability to read Canelo and adapt instantly, that's the kind of IQ that separates the greats from the good. Lampley highlighted how both fighters kept pushing the pace while maintaining discipline, noting that each round felt like a battle of wits as much as fists.
It was exactly what we probably should have expected, that a very technically skilled fighter took Terence the difference, stretched him out, made him show the best of what he's got to carve out a very close unanimous decision and maintain his unbeaten record.
This wasn't just a fight, it was a chess match with fireworks, both men forcing each other to rise to the occasion and showing exactly why boxing remains one of the greatest spectacles in sports today. He added that seeing these two champions exchange adjustments and counters in real time was a reminder of how tactical and deep boxing can be. Every round had layers, setups, feints, and reactions that could teach a lifetime of lessons. Lampley concluded by saying fights like this are why fans stay captivated, because it's not just about power, it's about intelligence, courage, and the artistry of the sport.
He's not as big a public figure as guys like that because he hasn't sought to be that kind of public figure. He's every bit as good a fighter.
Drop your hot takes in the comments. Let's run this debate heavy, and don't ever forget like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters because we're bringing the smoke every single time. See you in the next one, fight fans.